anyway, I was working today and I got a call, and it was my daughter's school, and a little girl was like swinging a fork, and she hit my daughter in the mouth, right, and my daughter's gums were bleeding and stuff like that. So,
why was she swinging that fork?
Right, you know what I mean? I'm like, dang, like it was a, like was it a metal fork?
It sounds like she stabbed her in the gums.
Right. So the school called and they told my girl, they was like, yeah, it was an accident and this and that. But they put, my daughter on the phone, and my daughter was talking to my wife, and she was crying like, yeah, it was an accident. But we was like, you know what? Let's go pick her up from school, because this isn't the first time we heard about an incident with this same little girl. So when we get up there, then like the story is different. It's like, she was talking to the little girl. The little girl said, stop talking. She didn't stop talking. And the next thing you know, the little girl must have
stabbed her.
Was swinging the little fork or whatever. And I'm like, but the school is saying it's an accident. Zada said it was an accident. And on the way back, I was like, Zada, why did you say, did you feel in your heart that it was an accident? And she was like, no. But I said, why did you say it was an accident? And she was like, because she said sorry. And I was like, dang. And I was like, dang, so because she said sorry, you felt like it was an accident. And I was like, okay, now I got to teach her. Like, just because somebody said sorry about something, don't mean they ain't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, the school is interesting. They want to they don't want to be liable for stuff like that. So they can ask a child a question in a way to make them think something is what it really isn't.
It was an incident, not an accident.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm like talking to the principal, this white guy, and I'm like, I told him like, a past incident where my daughter was, a kid was stepping on her shoes in the hallway, and I said, baby, why didn't you tell the teacher? She said, because we ain't allowed to talk in the hallway. So I said, oh my God. So I'm talking to the principal today. I said, I understand you all want the kids to be disciplined, but what do you teach them in terms of when someone's doing something to them that they shouldn't be doing? Like, you have to let them know that it's okay to speak up, because like their whole thing is like discipline, but it's like, are you teaching people to, stand up for themselves? Yeah. So that's been on me, and I'm like, yo, being a parent is like, it's like it's something else, man. It's like we're figuring it out. I've never been a parent before.
Yeah. Can I that's so powerful that you start off like that, you know what I'm saying? It's so powerful that you have a daughter that's so forgiving, you know what I'm saying? God damn, G. First and foremost, you should be able to do something with that school, because if that's not the first time it happened, your school should be liable, period. You know what I'm saying? Whether you choose to go and move forward with that is another thing, you know what I'm saying? But let's take it back to Black group therapy and take it back to, you know what I'm saying, your daughter who is so forgiving.
But you know what? All children are forgiving. It's only adults that don't forgive. At the end of the day, children forgive their parents for all types of craziness. Think about parents that be drug addicts and parents that let men in the house that shouldn't be there. Like, we teach children not to forgive. And I think before we get on a path of teaching children not to forgive, we should teach them. Well, me, I got a daughter. I got an 11-year-old daughter, right?
Right.
And I just went through a thing with my daughter where I call her doing what I call sneak talking. So, like, I get in the car and she on the phone with her uncle. Like, when I get back in the car, she's like, I'll call you back. And I'm like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what happened? Like, he like, and then her uncle, my baby mama brother, was like, no, what was you just saying? He didn't know I got in the car. She's like, oh, no, nothing. I was just talking about, don't worry about it, I'll call you back. She 11.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, what you sneak talking for? She's like, what you talking about, Daddy? I said, yo, obviously you was talking about me, You know what I'm saying? She said, and then my daughter.
Was she talking about you or?
Well, if you ain't talking about me, just say I wasn't talking, but it wasn't about you.
Or she could have just.
You know what I'm saying? And then I feel
Situation
busted
she
out.
didn't want you
But
to
what
know
she
about.
said,
Right.
but what she said was this, and this is the point. She said, sometimes I just don't want you and my mama getting mad at me, and it's easier for me to talk to my uncle than to talk to you and my mama, and just even be going through conversations. And I said, listen, if you can't tell somebody when something is wrong with you, if you can't tell somebody who offended you, whether we get mad at you or not, if you can't do it, then we can't rectify it, and it's gonna turn into resentment, and you'll never solve the problem. I said, talking to your uncle, he ain't gonna say nothing to me. You in a better position to talk to me than he is, and you talking to him. I said, you know what I think, baby? I think you trying to avoid your responsibility and accountability, and you just want somebody to agree with you. That's why you're not talking to me. I said, but that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, like, as we're teaching children, you know what I'm saying? You're developing their character.
Yeah.
And the character is not just to be like, in my experience, you know, with your kids, you do how you feel. But like, the character is not just to say, they may not mean it. That girl who was swinging the fork might have just been like, and you can't tell me boom in your mouth. You know what I'm saying? She might have not meant to do it. You don't know. Kids aren't as vicious as we are and as resentful. Sometimes we think of kids like we think of adults. You know what I'm saying? And kids be kids. My son bit somebody at 3 years old at school. He ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like, but he didn't know at 3, like I had to teach him. Keep your mouth to yourself. You know what I'm saying? like kids need to be taught.
But I'll say this though. I knew that it was done intentional when I was talking to my daughter.
Yeah.
And I said, deep down in your heart, do you feel like she did it on purpose? And she was like, now that I think about it, yes. I said, why? She said, because I'll do it again. And then that's when she started crying. And then after she started crying, the girl said sorry. And it wasn't maybe until they went back to class, because this happened at lunch. It wasn't until they went back to class that the teacher asked my daughter what happened. Was it an accident? Or was it intentional? And my daughter, still being a kid, 6 years old, saying she said sorry, so I guess it was an accident. Not knowing how to like really process that.
But you know what? Like, I'm the type of parent, I talk to other people's kids too. And that's when, like, you got, for real, man, like, that's when you gotta go up to school, and you gotta talk to the other little girl. And
They not gonna let that happen. They don't let that happen.
Talk to their
They don't let that happen,
parents.
bro.
As a
They
man,
don't
do that.
Let me tell you why I talk to kids. Because their parents don't know how to talk to them.
No, I'm saying like the school
I
don't, the
agree,
school won't allow that
but
though.
the school don't allow
I was
that.
like, because my girl was like, I want to talk to the little girl. The principal was like,
Well, yeah, because parents be out of hand.
and then I was like, well, can we talk to her parents? He was like, I'm like, why we can't talk to her parents? He's like, because that usually don't work out. And I was thinking in my head like,
Well, y'all can
yeah,
we'll see.
I would.
That tells you
Right.
as parents with him.
Yeah, but he said like, if y'all want to reach out to him, I can like
I swear to
give
God,
you
I
that
had that little
information.
girl at lunch. And I'm like, do you think that was a nice thing to do?
I don't know.
And she gonna finesse the situation. She gonna tell you, no, I didn't mean it. She's
Yes.
gonna finesse.
I think because they're so young, like I do think that they'll tell the truth, but I do think they all like they'll tell the truth when you pressure them, but that don't mean that
Can I
like
give you an
they'll try to get
outside-
out of it at first, but they just ain't built to like carry it out.
The truth is lost.
I
It's
just
like-
really want
I
to
feel
give
like
you
they
guys.
need some type of like
I don't think the truth is lost. I think
I want to give you guys
confrontation class or
an,
something like that, because kids don't know how to handle situations, so they don't really teach them how to handle people.
real life.
That's
Real
just
It's
life
really
is that.
military and institutionalized.
Fact.
things.
I don't know, man. Like I just like my daughter is a good kid. Like she's not bullying anybody.
Says you.
Says her record. She's not bullying
But that
anybody.
don't-
Ain't nobody like
I want you
calling
to-
me saying she did anything.
You ain't there.
Man, my daughter's a good kid.
Narrating.
You know, and I just think that like as a parent, my responsibility is to just make sure that I do my best to raise a responsible adult,
Yeah.
and to teach her integrity. And like moving on, like outside of this subject, to talk about the next subject, like integrity versus money. One of the things Candace put the questions together. I think.
Hey, real quick, is there such thing as bad kids?
Hell yeah!
Yes.
I was finna say no, then I was like,
I feel like
No, I mean,
it's some bad
I feel like
kids.
that's learned behavior.
some kids could be spawned to
It's
say,
learned
but then I
behavior.
think like a lot of kids they like learn stuff from other people
Adjust from
too.
their circumstances.
Hold on. What you say now?
I said some kids could be the spawn of Satan, but like I think it's kids mostly they just learn things from their environment.
And what you say?
I said they adjusted their circumstances as well.
Yeah.
I also
And
think
sometimes
that,
we throw the stigma of like, you bad, and what are they gonna do? You telling me I'm bad, so I'm gonna be bad. I'm gonna do what bad is associated with. So you are putting that on them.
I think real life is a matter of. I don't think there's such a thing as bad kids or good kids. It's a difference between a misunderstood kid and an understood kid. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because people grow up and they're bad. Are they still bad kids, or is there bad character or misunderstood character? Because you'll see interviews of Al Capone thinking he's a great guy. Same way you'll see interviews of Obama saying he's a great guy, but two different people understood by two different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? Real life is always down to perspective, and you know what I'm saying, how you.
So how do we perceive
Like
what is a bad kid?
whoever Obama hit with a drone was like he's a horrible person.
I mean,
But
yeah.
the persons that's agreeing with the drone being put is like, that's a great idea.
And I feel like before we jump to the next question, because you know what I'm saying, I always like to.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Misunderstood. Let's really get into misunderstood kids and understood kids, because I understand things about. You know what I'm saying? You telling this story, and I understand you, John. You know what I'm saying? You started this podcast. Yo, I almost fought Wale, jokingly, of course, but you know what I'm saying? I understand you to be a strong, powerful individual. You know what I'm saying? For you to have a daughter who follows rules and who's that forgiving, you know what I'm saying? It's perspective. For me, at least. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, man, you show your daughter so much love for her to be that forgiving. You know what I'm saying? And that's powerful as fuck. Yeah. So I'm proud and I'm happy to hear that you want to start teaching your daughter integrity. I think that's why I always say that our parents oftentimes don't pass on pride and integrity. You know what I'm saying? They only pass down their ego, and we grow up egotistic. But you're trying to teach integrity. You're trying to teach pride. You're trying to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. This is cool, and you can forgive people, but shit.
Yeah, and I think this is why I say there's bad kids, because my definition of a good kid is a kid who does what they're told. A bad kid is a kid who don't.
No.
A kid who like
no,
bro. A kid who don't. That's a bad. That's my definition. So when you ask me, is there such thing as a bad kid? Yes, it is. A kid who try to do stuff.
Is there such a thing? Is there such a thing as a bad instructor?
Huh?
You don't want to raise robots.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. Get your dick in your mind. In your mind.
When you get grown, be your own person. But when I'm raising,
no. You raise the robot.
You can call it a robot. I'm not trying to call it a robot.
You raise the robot. They grow old and they're robot. No, but the thing about it is,
what that means.
how you gonna raise
Are you scared
a girl?
of robots?
Hold on, real fast. Hold on, real fast. I'm sorry.
No.
So basically, you're saying that you're trying to raise a girl into being a woman, but a woman that only solely listens to a man, because she just doing what you tell her to do.
Don't you try to pull that on.
That's what you just said.
You gotta revisit it.
Hold on, y'all. We gotta speak at once. Now, what'd you say?
I was saying I don't think he meant like a woman child, a female. I think he meant children in general.
But the thing
so
is,
you just want them to do what you say and act according to you and have no creativity, no thought process of their own. That's
you want a Norman.
That's when we got here. That's what happened.
That's what he was.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What you saying, Akila? What you saying?
Okay, so basically, you're hilarious. This is okay because I have kids too. So how I raise my kids is I take them out. I give them teachings at home, of course. I take them out into the environment, and then I see how they use such said teachings that I gave them at home. I watch them because that's how your child learns. You can stay at home all day and tell them everything and beat it into their brain until they blue. But when you take them outside and Johnny come up and he like, do you want a sucker? I still want some candy. So then you watch and you like, well, what did I say? And then it kind of lets them know like that wasn't a safe situation. I didn't use my teachings the way that I was supposed to use my teachings. You know what I'm saying? I see kids play with dolls all the time, but I also teach my daughter that kids help lure kids away also. You know what I'm saying? So you have to take them out into an environment. You have to give them what you know, and then you have to see how they use what you know and see how they add onto that. Because you not... A wise man once knew that he knew nothing at all. So all that you give unto them, they're going to take it, they're going to add onto it.
I received that. I received that. And remember what I said in the beginning. I said, my whole mission as a parent is to raise what? A responsible adult. A responsible adult. You know what? I was talking, man, I often like, people be like trying to act like, yo, kids be saying dope stuff, which they do. But at the end of the day, we got to remember who has the most wisdom. Us. Kids aren't always right, just like parents, like adults ain't always right.
But they're honest. Normally brutally honest.
Not really.
Yes. Really.
Yeah, but sometimes they could not know what they're talking about.
They know.
No, I'm not saying that they know everything. I'm just saying that they see it differently. They still see it through an innocent perspective, whereas you see it through a clouded perspective because
it could be
you've gone through
skewed.
life.
It can be skewed a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like they might. There's a lot of emotions and feelings that we have as human beings, and there's really no word that exists to even express that. We'll live 20, 30, 40 years of our lives trying to figure out how to express ourselves. Kids are still learning how to read and write, still learning the basic words, and sometimes when you're trying to communicate with somebody, they can't find those words to even express the feelings that they have. So when you're saying somebody's being brutally honest, how?
I feel like you're taking a lot of... I think you're taking a lot from kids. Like, you just going with they don't know much. They just born. They don't have a... Like, I have a 10-year-old brother. Like, he cusses me out when he's angry. I am everything that he has ever heard. Kids are sponges, so what you teach them is what they admit. So if you teaching your child to take candy from strangers, then they're going to go outside and take candies from strangers. But if you tell them, like she said, I'm teaching you what I know, and I expect you to go out here and use what I taught you as your foundation and make your best decision. Not your worst, your best. And kids have a comprehension level, I think, where they can figure out the best choice. I know they know not to touch the stove after they burnt themselves one time, so I would think that they know enough to say, hey, I know what I'm doing when I go out. You taught me enough. Let me go do this. Your daughter forgiving was not a bad thing.
It's not.
She could grow up and say, bitches is stabbing me with forks on an accident, or they walking past bumping me, and now I'm fighting everybody who not really trying to cause me no harm. So sometimes you got to take a step back and say that her accepting that was just a lesson that she can learn from.
It was.
Yeah, like she probably may be up and down with the feelings when you get hit with something at the moment and somebody apologized. If I have a daughter and she apologized after she stabbed your daughter in the teeth with a fork, I would want you to come and talk to me. I would understand it, but I wouldn't want you to be like, well, I don't know why my daughter accepted that apology when your daughter was in the wrong. Well, they kids, so they will make mistakes. It will happen. And
also, do we agree that we have more than enough examples of kids being bullied by other kids and then becoming best friends with bullies?
So as long as she apologized,
you gotta be careful.
She apologized.
And even if the intent was there initially, like if you intend to do something initially, sometimes you get to the point where you realize, man, maybe I shouldn't have
I
done
was
that.
wrong.
I am sorry for that. I am
Should she
sorry.
be
I didn't mean to
forgetting?
do that.
Forgotten
Also,
because of that.
Kids are very weird. Like
He's
I was teaching today.
I don't know.
I'm teaching this class today.
You just don't want your baby hurt, and that's
She
the hard to
apologized for
understand.
self-preservation. How many of y'all
Exactly.
siblings beat y'all up, and the moment y'all cracked, they was like, "I will play with you all
And
day."
the-
If you just be
But even though you can go with that, we're not talking about our
hold on.
siblings. We are talking about kids at a school, and kids at school can say, "This is somebody I don't know. This is not my cousin. I'm not doing it." I honestly feel bad that you're bleeding. I didn't know when I was doing like na boo boo, now the extra stuff she said. We weren't there for all that. I'll do it again. Hey, I don't know what
But
to tell you
John-
about that. That's the parking lot type.
Hold on,
What
hold
don't
on.
you What don't you know? 'Cause
Hold on, hold
I
on,
want you
hold
to
on,
also
hold on,
say what you
hold on.
want to say, because what don't you said I don't know to a few things. I
Well,
want you to.
I think time will just tell. You know, this is an incident. I know growing up, I went through a lot of stuff, right? You know, we all go through a lot of stuff. I think that the main thing that my daughter needs to see is me being there, right? And
Yes.
her mom being there.
Yes.
And just whatever situation, showing that we got her back, but also teaching and letting her know, like, you know, maybe the lesson that I can take away from this is, baby, just because somebody said they were sorry don't mean they didn't do it. Cause that was I'm not trying to get the little girl in trouble. I'm not trying to do none of that. But if the teacher asks you if someone did it on purpose or was it an accident, and you, because you know you're a child, you're still, you know, trying to understand things, you say, well, it was an accident because she said I'm sorry. No, it was on purpose. You tell the truth to the teacher, and whatever, and let the chips fall where they may after the truth is told. So maybe that's just what I have to walk away. Maybe God made that happen so that I can teach my daughter that.
Appreciate it. And before
And
we
then
move
just
on to
leave
the
it at
next,
that.
before we move on to the next questions, I have just 3 questions, yes and no answers. Okay. Do you believe that, as a parent, do you believe that your kids are a better version of yourself?
They could be.
They could be. Okay. Do you believe that not every excuse me, I'm not as articulate, so when I say I'm trying to get my
Take your
words
time,
together,
go ahead.
right? Do you believe that not everything kids are told to do, like not every instructor has good intentions?
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, last question, are you scared of robots? Real shit.
my nigga.
Will Smith and Iron
No,
Man.
I'm not scared of
You're not scared of robots.
I don't think I ever. No.
Okay, now, because I think the biggest breakthrough, you know what I'm saying, and it's there on Black Group Therapy for you to see and do your own self-reflecting. I think in episode 3 you mentioned that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't listen at one point in my life, you know what I'm saying, and I regretted that, you know what I'm saying, and I think that regret, you know what I'm saying, is a lesson that you hold very strong and very dear to you, you know what I'm saying? And I see that you're trying to break out of it, you know what I'm saying? I see that you're trying to give better, you know what I'm saying, to your kids, just from the little story that you're giving, you know what I'm saying, about your kid, you know what I'm saying? But when you say that I want them to do everything as they're told, you know what I'm saying, I hope that you add integrity always with all your kids. I hope that you add pride always with all your kids. And I think that when you look back at, you know what I'm saying, at your words, at the way you use your wordings, you know what I'm saying, because that's what Black Group Therapy is at its core, self-reflecting, you know what I'm saying. Talk to your peers so that way your peers can hold you accountable for your words, your actions, your morals, and your beliefs, you know what I'm saying, because I've grown with you and I've seen, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to give you that before we move on to the next topic.
Right.
And then Silver wanted to say
Steve
Steve Harvey.
Huh?
Just one question.
What's up?
Do you believe things done maliciously can be forgiven? Somebody did something to you on purpose maliciously. Can you forgive them?
I mean, I guess. But I guess, yeah, you can. If you just want a simple answer, yeah, but it's a bunch of buts that go along with that.
So let's,
but I'm not gonna get into it because But go ahead.
I understand it.
No, I was asking that because I'm thinking about, like, she might have hit her intentionally.
And that could have been her eye.
But in order to heal and grow and get beyond, you forgive and move on, you know, and hope that you figure it out at some point, because poking people and hitting people with forks isn't the right energy you want to put out there. And for me, it's like if you do something to me maliciously and like intent, it's recorded. I remember it. But I'm going to pray to the gods that you figure it out and you grow as a person, because your energy out there, that's destroying you, not me.
Yeah, and it goes
Forgive,
back
but
to
never
what
forget.
it goes back to what that said. Like, you know, kids, you know, forgive by nature. You know, I think humans forgive by nature, but I think as we continue to live, we realize that, hey, we got to make some adjustments to that.
Absolutely.
We also have to teach our kids how to defend themselves so that way they don't get
It could be that
It's some real trouble
accumulation
real soon.
It could be that accumulation of always trying your best not to forget. Well, you keep forgiving, and then you keep getting accumulated so much forgiveness. You like, I can't necessarily keep remembering all of this, and the only way sometimes you get rid of your memories is by fixing it, by doing something. So it rests your revenge, and you just push it back in your mind,
Or removing yourself from it.
That's the smart way. But when you go about it out of anger, you kind of just end up you end up not forgetting and never forgiving.
All right, y'all.
No, he got it.
No, grab the paper, yo. We finna move on to the next subject, yo. Man, you know what?
That was a deep conversation.
That wasn't even supposed to be talked about.
Yeah, but it was therapy though.
Because
All right.
Mo'Nique seems to need her integrity, and
Okay.
I think integrity
So-
is needed in this industry.
Hey, to lighten things up, this
Yeah.
next question, right? This next question I got for y'all is so off the wall to me. You would have sworn a man wrote this question. But I want y'all to know, a woman wrote this question.
It doesn't matter though.
It doesn't matter.
No, it matters, because you would have swore a
my
nigga
bad.
with problems wrote this question.
Nigga with problems.
So it says, abortion. If a man tells the woman he wants to have an abortion, but she has the baby anyway, does he have the right to not support the child financially?
Well, that's been going around, so I don't think that was just that. I think a man initially
Actually
wrote that on Facebook, and it's good that we discussed that.
I wouldn't even have asked that question, because like right off back, I already know the answer. It's like, yeah, he got to take care of that baby. Why? There's no
That's
debate.
your answer though.
But
It's
that's
for
your answer.
everybody. You see, it's like 4, 5, 6
Okay.
guys.
Y'all not
So
finna
what
get
if
me
you
turned
get-
up today.
Hey, that's all on you, bro.
already done. You want to go higher. I'm trying to ask
You
trying to figure out what gender asked the question.
Okay,
Why is that
okay.
important?
Go ahead,
The
what you
question
saying?
is asked, now, what is your opinion?
I feel like, what if you did everything possible to ensure that you wouldn't have a child with this girl, making sure that you use protection, and it's still, you still had a baby.
Pull-out game week.
And what is
That's not doing everything possible.
That's really nice.
Hold on, y'all gotta speak one at a time. One at a time.
this is a very sensitive topic, so I don't even want to joke around with this topic at all. I don't think we should joke around with this topic.
So what
at all.
happens, bro? Come on.
Okay,
What should happen?
let me. I'm only gonna respond with a question because I reserved my answer. What happens when the woman gets rid of the baby without telling the
I
man?
didn't answer the question.
You know, I'm just saying. I'm not gonna answer that question. That was my answer.
Okay.
My question in response to that is, what happens when the woman gets rid of the baby without telling the man that she?
I don't
Is that
know.
an integrity question?
It's a really, it's really an integrity question. Both of these is a
absolutely
really
is an
integrity
integrity
question. So like,
Yeah.
you guys are flinching and getting wild.
Okay,
about
so
real
I
life.
You just changing the subject.
I want to jump on that because you had said something. I'm gonna keep saying it every time because it's on episode 2. But we might as well let them double standards live. And you turned the other way and said that. I'll never forget you said that because it applies right here today.
Absolutely.
You can't carry none for 9 months. You can't do half the things I gotta go through for 9 months. And I'm not telling you that it takes away so much, but unfortunately it do. It puts so much stress on your body to even have an abortion just at the thought of a man saying, I don't have no money and I'm not gonna go to work for your baby and our baby. So I also feel like
It's her choice.
yeah, and I also feel like young men should value y'all sperm. I'm telling y'all should value what you have in your genitals, because if you decide to just say, hey, this is just free nut for everybody, but then you say, she gotta get an abortion, she gotta get an abortion, but they $50 hollers and those don't come with the numbing shot, so you gonna be woke when they scraping it out your, like, no, you need 300
Okay, so like,
better.
Oh.
Like, you gotta speak on that. Y'all don't speak on the complex things of having a child. Men always go with the basis of money, money, money. But what about all of the strain for 9 months? You walking in and out the door. You still get to go to the gym if you choose to. But if you're a considerate man, you're not even gonna say, hell, my nut ain't shit. Go ahead and abort that baby. You're gonna say, you know what? Keep the child. We don't gotta be together. I will make sure I take care of my child. Yeah. You're not gonna make sure she has no problems with taking care of your part because it's yours too. And if you guys start carrying it that way, y'all will have more laws in court. Y'all will have more of those things. But from the beginning of time, men put the childbearing part, the mother duties, on the women. So now we have court, and you like, well,
we didn't put those on women.
Okay.
That's just God did that.
All right.
You can't blame
my
us.
childbirth, mothering.
We're talking about
using
societal
words.
norms.
We didn't put that on y'all either.
No. Okay, so you don't have to take blame for your soul self, but we do know that in the past, women have not had rights. They would die. Man would die with money, and then they would have to marry a whole nother man to get those funds released. So we talking about real stuff that you laughing off like, well, we didn't. It happened.
I think the unfortunate part is the fact that it's not being talked about before you put the damn dick in the coochie in the first place. Like, that's conversations that need to be had. Yeah. Where are you at with it? Are we just getting down to get down? Do you want to have kids? What's gonna happen if I end up pregnant? Like, those are conversations that need to be had before you start sleeping with a person, and whether or not you actually want. Is this somebody you would be willing to have a child with?
And those questions typically make men run away when they shouldn't. It should be open for conversation. A man shouldn't say, oh, I think she want to have a baby with me. Now we talking about this. He should be like, I ain't even hit it yet. And you know what? That's a good question, girl, because I don't even know if I should.
You know the problem, the real
That's
problem
what
is we don't know how to mate. We as black people in America don't know how to mate. At the end of the day, your family should be involved in decisions on who you date and how you date. My daughter needs to be put in a pool of a certain type of guy and can choose from that pool of guy, of the school that I put her in, the environment I put her in. I would want my daughter to marry one of your sons or one of your sons because we brothers, and then that's a family thing. Look, John McCain, his wife is from the Budweiser family. One of them senators is married to the Heinz ketchup lady. That ain't by accident. You know what I'm saying? We the only people that make songs about the club and then be surprised when we have babies by people at the club. Like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying?
But look,
we got a whole culture. We starting at the wrong part. Don't start at the sex.
But I'm finna fuck
we
you up real quick, bro. But look here though, bro. Look here though, bro. But what about with all those rich people? They
I met my baby mom at Shark's Chicken. That was the wrong way to go.
my nigga, hey. You probably, hey, look, she could have been the owner, my nigga. She could have been the owner. Hey, was she the manager? But look, bro, I'm finna fuck you up. I'm finna fuck you up, because a lot of arranged marriages don't work. A lot of arranged marriages don't work, and people say they not happy.
Bro, I'm not talking about Indian style arranged marriages.
But
I'm talking about putting your child in a position to have a good pick of people, to have a pick of people from an environment and examples that you put your child in. All I'm saying is every culture around the world does it, except for the loosey-goosey people that ain't really human beings.
I really do second
Black
that.
America.
I agree. I think what he's saying is,
Hold on, y'all.
I feel like
Empress finna say something, and you say something, and you was finna say something.
I feel like he's saying, which is, I think, when you look at the shift of black people moving to the suburbs, they try to put their kids around people that's not. Okay. And then I agree with that. And then I'm not going to really say I disagree, because those same people do have marriage problems, cheating problems, all of that. Financially, though, those problems ain't really one of their, issues. It'd be something different. It's other things. So it's like taking financial stress out of the problem can be a major reason for people to stop.
Hold on.
How do you know people's values?
This is how you know values. If if my daughter is homeschooled, right, or my children are homeschooled with a group in a community where we all do cooperative economics and cooperative homeschooling, that means we got the same ideas. That means when our children get together, they're growing up with the same values that were exampled by the pool of young people they were in. Me and John got the same values. We're not the same person. We don't always agree, but if my daughter marries his son, I know that me and him can talk to them from the base of values that we've grown as brothers. All I'm saying is that as a people, we don't have a community with a solid value that when our kids start to mate, that they're coming together with those values. Me and my baby mama got two different sets of values because we from two different planets. One from 63rd Street and the other from somewhere else.
Bro, hold on, bro. You might as well come your ass on
Over
camera.
here.
Don't that fall on the internet?
Hold on, y'all. All right, so they gonna probably hold on, bro. So they gonna probably want to know who the hell is this nigga in the background dropping out his knowledge. So I gotta of course, shout him out and whatever. So I gotta be probably one of the luckiest rappers in Chicago to have this man, you know, as a mentor, as you know, a big brother, as a big homie, man. And just my big homie, man, Rhyme Fest, the Grammy Award winning, Oscar Award winning. I'm gonna drop them accolades, bro.
Thank you.
You know, but yeah.
But back to the same
I got something to say.
Hold on.
I still don't feel like it's practical. Like in America right now, it's not.
Hold on, niggas. Relax.
I'm a nigga at, okay? I'm a nigga at.
You know I love you at
I'm there.
You go, and then Wale was going, and then Aquila, you go. Because they be commenting like, yo, we can't hear. Y'all be talking over each other, so we gotta kind of
take their advice.
Take turns.
Well, I agree with what you're saying. I don't feel like it's practical in America.
It's already happened.
Where?
Hold on.
Hold on. Like Jack and Jill. When you look at Jack and Jill, those black elites, they don't let their kids marry you.
No, and that's not about
their kids marry each other.
Can I say something? I really want to say something. Okay, so your kids are having hormones at 12, 11, 13. They fucking that early. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking about marrying, we talking about fucking. I'm sorry, excuse my language. But that's what I'm talking about. Your kid can get pregnant at that age.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, but guess what? Malia Obama ain't fucking nobody around here. Sasha Obama.
Because she got Secret Service on
because their parents are putting them in position. So whoever they fuck is gonna be from this.
So hold on, Aquila. I got you. So, are we really talking about community then? Like maybe the first step to finding a mate is where you put in what type of community are you putting your kids in?
Yes.
My cousin.
Everybody don't goes back to building character in your child. Because no matter where you put your child at, your child still got a certain character.
That's not true. That's not true.
They gonna be talking when their father come around. They gonna be doing what they doing. So let's go back to that subject of building character in your child.
Because we have social media now. We have the music that they listen to. Look at Money Mayweather's daughter, or whatever his name, Floyd Mayweather's daughter. Yaya is messing with NBA YoungBoy, who already got 4 different baby mamas and has already basically made it known that he has herpes as well.
Father.
Wait, what?
True.
That's all I'm saying.
A community is not necessarily a place. But I'm saying it's a mind state.
The strongest influence in a child's life, no matter what you say, is their parents. And if it don't start with the parents putting them in the right position, you're going to get the same thing. You can't tell me about Yaya. I'm looking at her daddy. It's the same thing.
But the kids still going to make their own decision.
Okay, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hey, all right, niggas. All right, check it out.
I refuse.
We're going to have to do this in order, bro. Go ahead, Wale.
Okay.
Please just answer the question. Don't be creating new ones and shit.
We're still not getting to the actual question.
Yes.
What we got is better than the actual question.
Because no matter how you
Because the actual question is easy. It's like,
hold on.
yeah, nigga, you gotta take care of that baby. No matter what we say.
Who don't
There's some people that don't feel that they
I
should
think
have
everybody in here do, so we skip
And those niggas get low and you can't find their ass. And
They get low like you.
That connects back to what you said about they principles.
Okay, y'all. All right, y'all.
Listen, if I
Hold on. My nigga Citizen X, I love you, bro. I love you, bro. Wale and then Eric and then Citizen X. Nobody like jumping in front of each other and shit. I know you passionate, but just hold it and we're gonna do it, all right? We're gonna get better every episode, y'all. This is the 5th episode. So like with this episode, let's try to perfect timing and being patient and waiting on our chance to speak.
You gotta keep that same energy, John.
Come,
Because
bro!
Hold on.
Oh, my nigga, Wale.
What was you gonna say?
If you wasn't hot already, you would have felt no pressure.
Bro, just go.
Come on.
I am on a platform that's Black Crew Therapy.
Nigga!
Like let me I'm not you want me to just get my point out. That means you're not even trying to listen to me in the first place.
No, I am trying to listen to you, bro. But you be trying to you got too many side notes.
Okay.
I'm trying to hear you. Just take a deep breath, bro.
Okay. Too many side notes.
Let's go.
Too many side notes.
We gotta stay on the topic.
Okay, staying on topic. Staying on topic. Empress brought up values. You know what I'm saying? The value of owning your, knowing the value of your own nut, the value of knowing the value of your own coochie, vagina, whatever you want to call it, knowing the value of your own sexuality. That's just what Empress brought. You know what I'm saying? That's what she started with. Then, you know what I'm saying? Ryan Fest said, "Yo, it's about who you're surrounded by. You know what I'm saying? You are who you hang around. If you hang around dumb niggas, you're gonna be a dumb nigga. If you hang around smart niggas, you're gonna be a smart nigga. And people can change their circumstances. That is so true. You know what I'm saying? It really does start with the home and teaching that integrity, teaching that value. You know what I'm saying? And that is what this question initially started with. So it's not that I'm throwing side points. It's just I'm getting back to the real topic at hand.
I agree.
Okay.
Because
Hold on.
I raised my hand so long.
So do you
Eric.
Well, yeah, cause I was watching what was I watching? I was watching an interview. I think it was TD Jake's daughter. She ended up in like a strip club. And you know her daughter.
I mean, I was cool. I agree. Like that's what I was
right.
trying
She
to
ended
say,
up in a strip club, and her dad is TD Jakes.
You ain't gotta whisper that. Her daddy TD Jakes and she in the strip club. That's TD Jakes' daughter in the strip club.
She eventually got back to where she needed to be,
but she got back to where she needed to be, but she was in the strip club.
That actually kind of connects to what I was gonna say because.
Go ahead, Citizen. I'm sorry, Empress.
Go ahead, bro.
Because like you have to take into account like no matter how many morals and values you instill in your child, you know every child is different and they always have that possibility to choose their own destiny or whatever. I think the advantage of instilling it early is that hopefully like he said or I think you said is she returned to it on her own. But like I think in regards to like choosing who you have sex with, that reflects on your morals and values too. Like if you every time you have sex with somebody, you think to yourself, even if like I'm protecting myself and I'm doing all the right things, if on the 1% chance I do have a child with this person, is this someone I want to have a child with? If you take that approach
every time. I'm just wondering.
It should be your
I'm just wondering.
Well, okay. If you're not thinking that, you might want to make sure you're using protection.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
But it's like,
go ahead.
Okay, so let me just go back to this question.
She got something.
Okay, so
you ain't really saying much. Don't let me get on a tangent.
Okay, so you go
she
first.
Can go first. I'm being polite today.
Just right quick, what I want to say. I'm kind of summing up, I guess, what you three just said in the end. It's just both entities understanding how powerful each person is. So like you said, a man valuing, like at the end of the day, we shouldn't want certain people to even be able to speak on us. I don't want certain people to even be like they slept with me, had a chance, was in my text messages or anything like that. So it's just being more knowledgeable, like especially at the ages we all currently are now, we understand sex a little more. We know like the level we want it to be on. You can't just be out here sleeping with anybody because you're not gonna get that intense level that we want. You're not gonna get that intense moment that you want. So Ultimately,
Can I add to that? Because it go back.
Hold
I
on,
agree.
Tati. I love you, G, but
We
come
have
on.
people who normally don't talk that much.
But we gotta do the order.
Right, okay.
It
I
gotta
ain't
be
gonna say
the
nothing.
order.
I'm quiet.
And then again, because
like,
Chris
just
is
be
so
like-
polite today.
If you just look at me and be like,
I
yo,
ain't gonna say
John,
nothing.
I
Go
got.
ahead.
Just look at me and be
Empress,
like, yo,
go ahead,
John,
say
I want to
nothing.
say woo woo, and
I
I
ain't
got
gonna say
you.
nothing. I'm quiet.
But
feel
Empress
like
gonna let Toddy go because I like to hear whatever you say, and I don't know if I say your name right.
That's
But
what
Toddy
I'm
can
talking
go
about.
first.
It is Toddy, MC
And
Toddy.
Akila, what you have something to say?
I agree with Ryan Fest though. It starts at home. Like people, back to what y'all was saying with the kids. Train up a child in which way they should go, and they will never depart. So as from a little boy, little girl, if you tell a person this who you are, this who you gonna grow up to be, you speaking that into the universe. That child will essentially grow up to be that. Now the counter side of that, if you tell a child every day you a bitch, you a hoe, you cursing that child. You know what I'm saying? You saying what the child gonna be. And at the end of the day, I feel like Ryan Fest said, as black people, we are the only people that don't choose who our kids should be with.
We tried.
Therefore,
I mean,
we
it's a
should-
I don't think I just, and then again, promise you, I don't like to bring up history, but knowing history is so important because you cannot forget the past. The past does repeat itself. If we was to say, hey, I want to do what my ancestors did and pick families and pick this, that, did it really work out though? Because not only that, it's young girls who's being put in homes with older men that they didn't even want to be with. So the whole arranged, I pick your man because he's great for the family.
It's something that can be abused.
It's something
just like
that can be
any other thing.
abused.
Yeah.
So I think that we are at a
But
time.
we the only race that don't do that, and we
I
the only
agree.
race that still felons.
But I feel like
we got other cultures
I don't
that
want
play
nobody-
matchup where the
I don't-
black gene is the
I don't
most
want nobody
dominant
to
gene, and then you start to see our genes do all this other shit. I wish the scientists would help because I don't know the right term for it, but do all this mutating shit, and then money sort of like this. I mean, that's the reason why we have no structure
but
going down the generational line, and I
wanna
think
make
Jay-Z
Ron
said the
Fest
same
clear.
shit. My daughter gonna marry a billionaire.
I
That's
wanna-
how it should
My
be.
seed, marry your seed, marry. That's
I
it.
get
I
the
mean,
Rothschild
I
thing.
get the ideology. of it.
I get that. I do. But
That's to create generational wealth, ban property, and all that. We the only culture that do not do
But
that.
okay, so this is what I'll say. I think I get the ideology of it, and I actually agree with it to a certain extent. But I think that there's, you still have to be careful with that, and you have to make sure you take the right steps. The first step is like, what community are you putting your child in? You know what I mean? I think it kind of goes back to what we opened up with, talking about my situation with my daughter. This didn't happen in a public school. This is a private school. You know what I mean? So like,
That's the problem.
like I think
That's why they was playing Dodge.
in any situation, it's about you're gonna have issues. You know what I'm saying? You'll never get 100% of anything. So even with like arranged marriages or just going out and finding somebody in the club, you might find your soulmate in the club too. Sometimes it might be 1 out of 100.
I think it's not just our
out of a
kids.
million.
I'm
It
not
goes back to building character. No matter where that child is at, you can put somebody anywhere. Put me anywhere on this turf. I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, whatever. I'm
I
gonna
don't
make
know.
my worth go
I
up
want you
because
to-
of the character
All right.
inside of me.
Because
It's
I know
about
we
what's
gonna-
inside of
I
you.
know we're gonna move on to the
Temptation is a motherfucker.
Temptation is, but you gotta put in character that you cannot have
Temptation
everything
is
you
a
see.
motherfucker with the highest character.
But
Does
I
not
still-
matter. But if you are setting yourself up and your family up to be in certain environments where temptation is less, that makes it easier. And I think that's all Rhymefest was saying is build yourself around a community where the environment is stronger, the environment is more valuable, the environment is more powerful, and you lessen the chance of
Failure.
getting stuck with the nut with no
But when you got
finance.
the
Hold on, Empress. So Wale, Empress, Akila, then we gonna go to the next subject.
Oh man, I thought this topic was done, man.
listen, and we can really end it here because I can't get this out, but I'm gonna get it out because what we were talking about were, does he have the right to not support the child financially? If your rebuttals to does he have the right to not to is, well, go make better, go here, go do this better. If that's all y'all got to answer that question, basically I'm summing it up as a bunch of fucking excuses. If a man, I don't care what community you came from, what your values was, we need to be taught as black people, no matter where I come from, I have to take financial responsibility of my seed. You cannot plant something and then say, well, I don't want that grass to grow no more because I don't want it. But then you put it in there though. So now the grass gotta go get an abortion when you could just watch what you doing. I don't care what community your mama put you in or your daddy, cause I come from nothing, but you don't see me having no abortions or no STDs, honey. So at the end of the day, I know what I'm doing, and I'm asking the right questions before I lay down with somebody, and I'm choosing the right man too. Excuse me, but do raw with. If I want to do raw, I'm choosing the right person. It ain't just any Tom, Dick, and Harry out there. So you gotta know what you doing. As humans, it doesn't matter.
How do you choose the right person to go raw?
It's if I wanted to. It's not about. It's not. People out here are fucking raw. So if you
I'm being sweet.
If you fucking raw,
the right person.
That's off camera.
okay, now you asking for too much. You don't know too much. You don't know how to do it. But that's that game is to be bought though.
I'm not your publicist, but that's off camera.
You was never my publicist.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Number three. Just to put this out there. Like,
okay, all right, y'all. Go ahead.
Y'all gonna talk like motherfuckers not out here fucking raw, but I'm gonna keep it authentic with you. Half of y'all probably sitting on here is fucking raw with somebody you're not married to. So I can say what I meant because that's what I meant.
Everybody knows the rules about going
I just
raw.
want to get
After the third time,
like,
you're going raw.
If you that's your rule, though. It does not matter. All I'm saying is,
you gonna we know each other.
Look, y'all can discuss rawness on another time. It really don't matter what you choose to do. All I'm saying is, if you are a man and the question is, do you have the right to not support yourself, your baby financially because you didn't mate right or whatever? That's not an answer to that. So that's why I'm saying that.
Okay.
All of those rebuttals were irrelevant to the question. You have to take care of your child. That's a good answer.
Who had the last name?
Oh, I did, but basically I was gonna say exactly what Empress said. Like basically, I don't know where you at.
All right, man. Y'all some crazy.
Right, take care of it. Integrity game. Integrity game. That's integrity question.
Integrity
Oh
game
my
versus the money game.
goodness.
Are you gonna get into Steve
All right,
Harvey?
let's talk about.
Harvey.
We've been trying to get to this integrity versus money like question all day. Y'all skip that shit. We'll get back to it. So, in recent news, Mo'Nique was on the Steve Harvey show, and the subject arose of whether integrity should be suppressed for financial success. Which is more important, integrity or money? Can one maintain integrity while making climbing the socioeconomic ladder? If so, how so?
Can I start?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Not everybody knows the value of money enough to use it. You know what I'm saying? And they don't have their own integrity sometimes when they get that money. So they abuse it. You know what I'm saying? It's not a matter of, you know what I'm saying, whether it's I have money or I don't have money or I have integrity or I don't have integrity. Some people are just better with things than others. You know what I'm saying? Maybe if you have a good support system, which is what things that people in the audience were saying about Mo'Nique, if we are talking about Mo'Nique. It was like, oh, I wish Mo'Nique had a better team supporting her. You know what I'm saying? Or when they was coming at Steve Harvey, they said, oh, but you sacco da 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 da. No, he just know how to move. And you know what I'm saying? You gotta, I had a quote. I said, wow, I wish I could remember that quote. I'll probably come back to it. But it was like, you know what I'm saying? Know how to flex in different circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
Nigga, that was a quote?
Yes. Yes.
That was a quote.
Yes.
Learn how to flex.
Check this out. Check
100 years from now, it's going to be like, Wale,
Let me explain that. Let me explain that. You know what I'm saying? If I go to a strip club, I'm going to flex different. If I go to pick up my kids, if I had kids, I'm going to flex different.
Oh, my nigga.
You know what I'm saying? Different circumstances calls for different flexes. You know what I'm saying? But you can't just be trying to flex on everybody, thinking everything is one circumstance. I feel like that's what Mo'Nique had her little errors at. You know what I'm saying? She was just, hey, this is me. This is what I do. No, you gonna do what I, you know what I'm saying? That's just flexing too much, and you accidentally flexing on your own.
I get what you're saying.
And now your own trying to flex back at you,
saying.
and that's an ego trip.
I get what you're saying.
Basically, it's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what it is. It's a time and place for everything. You act and move accordingly when you acknowledge the situation, when you acknowledge your environment where you are. You be like, okay, do I act like this or do I act like this? You feel me? It's also how you talk to somebody. The
You
same
talk
way you
about
talk
buying
to
power
your
too. Like if you ain't got the buying power, Monique keeps saying basically she ain't have it to keep talking about. Oh, I got that 1996. You talking about Queen of Comedy? That show.
You know what though? Too, it's a quote Jay-Z said. He said lyrically, "I be to live quality." You know what I'm saying? But if I'm one of the poor, he said, if I'm one of the poor, how can I help them? So people always say integrity over money. You can still have money and still have integrity. But money is a tool that we need to rebuild this nation.
I think
money is always number one.
Are you
money
trying to
is
say
power.
like with the Jay-Z line? Cause
Here we go.
The rest
Back
of
to
the
this
line
money
was
and
like,
power.
I want to rhyme like common sense. When I did 5 mil, I ain't been rhyming like common sense.
Yes.
So is you saying he you know, put his integrity to the side for the
I
money?
think far as with the music he did, but at the same time too, Jay-Z is a person that sent a lot of black people to school. So I mean, sometimes, because you got to understand this game is not built for you. Sometimes you have to play the game to get where you got to be at. True. And then you go back and you know you help your people.
And let's really
Hold on while
let's
Eric,
really
go ahead.
stop.
Eric and then X.
Well, Monique, I feel like she didn't recognize like where she was, because like when Empress was saying it was like 1996 that was happening. But when that whole situation happened, it was like I looked at when she was talking about like Amy Schumer and stuff like that. I looked at Amy Schumer's numbers on Twitter and on Instagram, and Amy Schumer had way higher numbers and followers than she did. So Netflix really wasn't looking at that at like what you did in your past. Like it's a different ball game. That's what Steve was talking about. You gotta play a different game.
But keep in mind, y'all, we talk. I understand like the whole Mo'Nique and Steve situation, but on the show, a deeper issue arose: integrity versus money. So
On the social
outside of
economic
what
ladder,
Mo'Nique did in '96,
right there.
integrity versus money. Go ahead, bro.
I think what it comes down to, like from what I can tell, because like I watch and study a lot, like people that are in positions I want to be in. I think it all comes down to you having an end goal, like, and that makes it easier for you to make decisions right there in the moment. Because it's like the age-old like saying, talking about knowing how to pick your battles. Like, do I fight this battle right now, or do I let them have this one so that I can win later on down the road? Because like,
so you're saying like it's okay to suppress integrity for a little while
if it supports your greater goal. It depends on like
what is integrity.
You gotta define that shit first.
I have it in my notes already.
Go ahead.
Look, check it.
Okay. I made my own definition up, but I don't know if y'all will like it.
Okay. So it says that integrity is defined as the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, following your moral or ethical convictions, and doing the right thing in all circumstances, true to yourself, and would do nothing that demeans or dishonors you. Now, first, let me just say what I want to say, and I gotta get up out of here, and y'all do all that. So, in regards to strictly integrity versus money, I think with the Mo'Nique situation, what I took from it, because Mo'Nique spoke about inequality, so she felt like, well, obviously that nothing was being equal for her. So I think that integrity is more important, because ultimately integrity is going to get you the real bag. Mo'Nique is now the first black African American female that now has a residency in Vegas, as well as Colin Kaepernick. He kneeled for what he believed in, and now he got a real bag. So I think that integrity is going to lead you to that. If you hold on to what you truly value, then that's all that matters, because according to this definition, if you're not going to settle or basically sell your soul for something that you know dishonors you, why should you allow it, basically? That makes no sense.
What was she doing those?
Integrity doesn't always work out that way.
No.
She felt like that deal was like
I love that you
dishonest.
defined it. I love that you said that. I'm
gonna
let you finish. Eric.
Huh?
I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
I was just saying, like, the deal that what she was asking for was kind of like a little bit like outrageous, like for what. Her followers
at the end of the day, though, that's what she believes.
You're right. You should.
That's why she did it though. Because if you look at the list of people that are Oscar-winning actors and actresses, that's not a list everybody is on.
Okay.
That's just like the difference between a SAG actor and some dude that, like, yeah, he may be a great actor, but he ain't did nothing strong like that yet.
Do you know what we're doing right now?
But
we're separating different people's integrity. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop comparing.
You know what the issue is though? I got an Oscar, but I ain't got no bag. the problem is we boil down everything to if you got a bag, that means you did or didn't have integrity.
That's what I'm saying.
Why are we boiling everything down to a payday as you won or you didn't win? At the end of the day, I don't know that Nelson Mandela had millions of dollars. I know he sat in jail for 27 years, got out, and became leader of his people. I know that Martin Luther King died broke. I know that Malcolm X died broke, and they wasn't worried about no money. You know what I'm saying? I just, Mo'Nique was a bad messenger for that. Like at the end of the day, Steve Harvey got camps for single mothers, and Tyler Perry, who Mo'Nique was dissing, got a whole studio where he employed black people. We know Oprah Winfrey built schools for Africans. What has Mo'Nique ever did but tell a damn joke? And talk about, I'm tired of people painting blackness with this broad stroke, and if you don't fight for me, it ain't black, because I got integrity. We're supposed to all put our shit down and fight for Mo'Nique. She ain't did nothing for nobody.
That was my thing. That was my thing. That was my thing with her being a bad messenger, because it's like she weaponized the struggle, kind of like what Jussie Smollett has done.
Okay, I love that you're going
So
there.
moving on, Wale, I know you got a lot of shit to say.
Let's close it out. Let me close it out then. I really have to close it out because this is Black Group Therapy.
Nigga, just say the shit.
I love. Hold on. Let me tell you why I say this is Black Group Therapy every time I say something.
No, you ain't got to do that. That's the last thing I want you to do, bro.
Let me tell you why I do that.
Okay.
Because the reason why I do that, because it's not just me that I'm speaking. That it's not just me. I'm not speaking just to share my perspective with the people. You know what I'm saying? Black is a general term. Therapy is a general term for the first term gift, Black Group Therapy. I'm trying to give you guys real life perspective, because perspective can change the world. Now let's stop comparing people's integrity, and let's stop comparing people's pockets. Because that's what the ego trip is about. I don't want to say Mo'Nique is wrong. She's right in her own right. That she has her own things. That she's an artist. Artists are sensitive about their shit, G. Who are we to say she's wrong? Stop condemning her. She's wrong. She got a bad way of doing things. Let's tell her Let's tell her how we can do it right. I feel like that's what Steve Harvey was trying to do, right? And I feel like what we do oftentimes when we compare each other's integrity. Not everybody can sit like Mandela sit. Not everybody can bail 21 Savage out of, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
But I think if she has integrity for herself, leave it at that. Don't try to say you got integrity for the whole race when that's not really
that's
the
what we
case.
have to encourage. I love that you said
Like,
that.
stay at your integrity for you. Like, yo, I'm not taking 13. I'm not taking no less than 13 million. I've been a comedian for 30 years. Y'all gave Amy this. I've been doing this longer than her. Give me that. But don't try to weaponize the black community like Jussie Smollett did.
For general.
So moving on, Jussie Smollett attack now revealed that he may have orchestrated his own attack. If this is true, why do you think he would stage his own assault? Has he set the fight for equality back? How severe is this situation to the struggle if the allegations are true?
I want to say, before y'all all jump in now and get my chance, I just pulled out my words. I'm doing the wallet. No, I'm just playing. I'm not going to pull a wallet. Anyway, if this is true, why do you think he should stage it? Like, I think that it is true that he staged his own assault. But I think that if we're going to throw out ideas of why he did it, I think he might have did it for a future show. I mean, it's not uncommon to see something bad happen to people on camera or whatever footage they got, and then that footage is in the show, and it's like the season ender or something because he's supposed to be getting written off the show. So I don't really know how that goes, but I do want to say my feelings towards everybody. When they first dropped, everybody said he a liar, he just this and he that. I feel like we pick apart everything, even if he might be a lie. I hate that about people. You can't say something bad happened to you without people saying, but when that happened, how you know it was true? What was you at when it happened to you? Like, what do you mean? Like, you can be literally telling somebody exactly all your trials and tribulations in a moment, and people will literally pick that apart. Like, that didn't happen, but that sound more like it's more believable because we are in Chicago, and don't nobody go to Subway at 2 in the morning. I do, though. I get the munchies. I go to Subway at 2 in the morning. I get soup and a 6-inch, and I drive, but he walked. So I just feel like picking apart the whole story to me was just stupid. But yeah, he might have been wrong, and that's stupid too. Him doing that is gonna set us back, especially the gay black community. First of all, they already don't really have a forefront as much as the gay white community. So those communities, when you go, and as a bisexual, when I go into that group, I see the difference. The white girls be different and the black girls be different. But then some of the white girls want to be like black girls and they just carry themselves that way. But that's another story. But it's all separated. So for him to do that, it's like you can't put yourself in this light that you keep trying to fight for. Like what you just said about her, like her integrity or his integrity is in shambles, but you want all the black people to come follow you. He wanted to be like something bad happened to him, and we all just shake up the city. And that's not really how it go, because of course we know every day how Chicago works. Of course that don't really happen to nobody.
Do y'all think
yourself the gay too?
But you know what the real issue is? I'm tired of people coming to Chicago trying to exploit what real Chicago is going through. So today, 9 mothers came out today and went at the police and said, we want you to put 13 detectives on our kids that got killed, and we ain't got no phone call in 9 years about the case of our kids getting shot in the neighborhood, but you put 13 detectives on Jussie Smollett. They sucking up resources. When Spike Lee came here and exploited people and shot Chirac, now he getting an Oscar after laughing at our, you know what I'm saying, what we was going through. Chicagoans got to stop letting non-Chicagoans come in here, suck resources, exploit what's going on. You know what we know? Ain't no white people beating up no black people in Chicago.
Can I ask you a question?
Right now. Ain't nobody walking downtown with Donald Trump. When Donald Trump tried to go to UIC, they almost tore the damn building down. So I know ain't no white people in the polar vortex beating up no black people. So at the end of the day, it looks sus from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Because it don't seem Chicago.
Can I ask you a question?
I feel like Chicago we forget what Chicago is when superstars and fame and all of that stuff that we desire and be chasing get in the picture, we forget who the hell we are.
We let
people get away with murder.
It was a publicity.
We need a gang.
Hold on, Tati G. It was a publicity stunt, and you know I think that this wasn't the first time somebody done did some shit like this, and most of the times they get away with them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
This is one of the first times where a nigga done pulled a publicity stunt, and that shit just was like,
who got away with a publicity stunt?
Shit, I don't know, but I bet you it happened before. Alright, well you in there.
Who got away with it?
Tati got something to say though.
You know,
and you told her she was next.
Hold on, I got turned up for a minute. All right, go ahead.
Like what you said, with the bigger issue is of people not from Chicago coming here. I think the bigger issue is desensitizing what's going on with the black male. So I think Jussie Smollett said in the interview, I think with the lady, what's her name?
On Good Morning America.
Yeah, he said, if I would have said the person was black, Muslim, or Mexican, maybe people would believe me. And I think that's true. I think they trying to desensitize what's going on with the black male.
That might be true.
That happened to him. That nigga laughed.
That's a bad.
But they was wait.
No, that might be true. That's a bad.
You know, we don't know.
But it's not a good idea.
But we don't do that. It's no evidence to say if that
they
did not happen to
coming
him.
back from Nigeria. It was some black.
Some black ass.
He made a phone call.
You guys are using words. You guys are using words that impact me, and I feel offended. You guys are using words that affect me, and I feel offended. Please be careful with your fucking words, G. Nigerian, Muslim, I am that.
They
Be
were
careful.
But
no, don't tell me that I shouldn't feel offended right now.
But they were Nigerian.
I know, that's why I say, hold on. No, hold on. I know, but the way we use our words is just so powerful, and I wouldn't be so hot if we wasn't already yelling over one another. You know what I'm saying? This is a real issue, G, and we're not stating the fact that how does it come back to us? No, the bigger issue is that. You know what I'm saying?
Look, the point is that that's not a good thing to do to people. If you want to get your point across as a gay or a black man, it's not good to set up stage shit.
Exactly.
Okay? That's the point.
For Muslims,
okay? They were
a MAGA cap that President Trump has now seen. A MAGA cap that Trump has now seen.
Man, my brother, I hear you, bro. We heard you.
If we wasn't yelling at each other, I wouldn't be yelling.
Hey, we're not gonna say Nigerian no more. Nobody say Nigerians did it.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying
his people.
You know what I'm saying? Just be
shit.
careful.
Don't admit it and say that they did it.
Yeah.
Don't repeat the news report.
Don't say
No, find out.
because they were actors.
Real life, real life. Please.
Gotcha.
Yes.
What I am saying
They
is
want to see them passing out
what
money
I
in
am
Nigeria.
saying. What I am saying is that if we are going to be, if we're going to speak on situations like these, you know what I'm saying, and we don't have our facts all the way
are
right.
facts.
Hold on.
What time is it?
You know what I'm saying? If we don't have.
Hurry up. You cutting everybody else off.
Okay. I understand that he hired two Nigerian men who may be Muslims, but when you say that to the American people, who oftentimes criticize black people, who oftentimes criticize Muslims, and that when that topic of propaganda hits, you know what I'm saying, it hits a bigger community.
Bro, but
And
that's why niggas did it, man.
Jussie Smollett.
Alright, bro, we gotta stop
He's
it.
telling us to listen, but we telling you
We
we
listening
got
to
nothing
you,
to do
bro.
with what's in the
And
news.
it wasn't a blanket statement.
No.
It
I
wasn't
feel like
intended to be a blanket.
specific.
It was a very specific statement.
But you know what, though?
That shit's so real that we can't let it.
Most of the people you talking to is Nigerian, whether we know it or not.
So you think we
if
trying
you
to-
offended, we offended too.
Right, nigga, I'm mad. Don't say
No,
nobody say
I
that.